Vision by Snigdha, Ashwin, Jake, and Jacob.
Wavelength determines the color of the light or the hue. The hue is the dimension of color that is determined by the wavelength of the light. At the state fair, the hue would help you to distinguish the colors of different objects, like a Ferris wheel or another ride. The amplitude determines how loud or bright a wave is, or the intensity. The intensity is the amount of energy in a light or sound wave, which we perceive as brightness or loudness, as determined by the wave's amplitude. At the state fair, the intensity would help you to see whether it is daytime or nighttime outside.
The cornea is the eye's outermost layer. It is the clear dome-shaped surface that covers the front of the eye, and it plays an important role in focusing your vision. At the state fair, the cornea helps you focus your shot on the target while at the shooting range. The pupil is the hole at the center of the iris, which allows light to strike the retina, and it appears black. At the state fair, the pupil allows the light from pictures of people in the House of Freaks entrance into the retina, where they'll be passed to the brain and formed into an image. The iris is the colored part of the eye, with the pupil at its center. It controls the diameter and the size of the pupil, and thus the amount of light that reaches the retina. At the state fair, the iris allows you to interpret all the colors spinning and moving around on the rides. The lens is a transparent structure behind the iris, which bends light rays so they form a clear image at the back of the eye. The lens allows you to see your friends all the way on the ground from the top of the Ferris wheel. The retina is a layer at the back of the eyeball that contains cells that are sensitive to light and that trigger nerve impulses which pass via the optic nerve to the brain where a visual image is formed. The retina allows you to visualize and process the pictures of the people on the House of Freaks entrance.
Rods are cells that deal with low intensity light. They are also called low intensity light receptors. If you're at the state fair and you happen to look at something that's not a very bright color, you would be using your rods. Sorry,
Keep going.
okay. Cones are cells that deal with high intensity light. They are called high intensity light receptors. When staring at something bright, such as cotton candy, you would be using your cones. Accommodation is a process by which the vertebrate eye changes optical power to maintain a clear image or focus of an object. If you're playing a game and you're focusing on it, you will most likely use accommodation to focus on the game. Bipolar cells are cells that transmit signals between photoreceptors and ganglion cells. The entire time you're at the state fair, these bipolar cells are working to get the image collected by your photoreceptors to your brain.
Ganglion cells are types of neurons located near the inner surface of the retina and are the final output neurons of the vertebrate retina. At the state fair, when you see an object such as a roller coaster, the ganglion cells relay that information using the optic nerve to the brain so that it can process and understand what you're seeing. The optic nerve is a nerve that carries neural impulses from the eye to the brain. At the state fair, the bright lights on one of your rides can trigger your optic nerve, which sends a signal to your brain that the light is bright and is hurting your head. The blind spot is the spot at which the optic nerve leaves the eye and no receptor cells are located there. At the state fair, as you look out of the corner of your eye to try to locate your friend, you notice that you have to physically turn your head or you won't be able to see them. The fovea is a central focal point in the retina, around which the eye's cone cluster. At the state fair, the sharp eyesight of the fovea allows you to see even the tiniest hot dog stand and kids strolling around clearly, even at the top of the Ferris wheel.